r/Airbnb hosts. Pagan Butterkina says. Struggling at 4.8. Rating, how to get to 4.95 plus. I've had a 100 reviews so far, mostly 5 stars, never got a 3. At 4.78. Literally 4 to 5 reviews can take me to superhost, or take me out. 1. Any tips for exceeding people's expectation? 2. What amenities should there be for one night stays? Thank you. Anxious_cheetah 5589 says. We're at 4.9. The only thing we ever get dinged for is value. Fancy ski town, everything is expensive, taxes, firewood, cleaners, handymen. We're cheaper than similar properties, and much cheaper, per bed, than local hotels. I understand where guests are coming from, everything is expensive these days. Not much you can do to change people's perception of value. One thing that seems to help, friendly, proactive, and frequent communication. We notify guests when the house is ready for early check-in. If they arrive early, costs us nothing and buys goodwill. Text message on arrival night to see if there are any questions or problems. Nice bottle of local wine and local chocolate and maple syrup as welcome gifts. Bribes, in other words, lol. They might still question the value, but would feel guilty for marking you down. Seattle_architect says. You probably need constructive feedback from your guests. I would make minimum stay 2 nights. 1 night with a cleaning fees could be more expensive for guests. After first night, send a message and ask how was the first night and if they need anything. Always be available to deliver anything they need. After guest checkout, ask for feedback and 5-star review. Serious Sheefader 1 says. Potentially controversial, but you will notice many threads on here about how some guests believe a 4-star rating is good because a 4-star rating should be good. If your area is value, they might just think of you as a 4-star accommodation, not a luxurious 5-star. You can attempt to educate guests, but I also think it's one reason why it is good to take guest feedback, work on what needs to be addressed, but also recognize that Airbnb has created an impossible system that they aren't transparent about with guests. Pagan Butterkina says. I've seen some commenters here talk about their 4.95 plus rating. That's amazing. How the heck do you get there? Axel Natro says. Guests are weird. For example, one guest rated us 5-star overall and 5-star in each category except communication, where they rated us 4 stars. Yet in their review, they literally wrote communication, check-in and check-out were seamless. Would highly recommend. What? Another one, 5-star overall, but 4-star on location, and yet they wrote we had a great stay, beautiful view of the lake, would love to come back. Alrighty then. Extreme Onion 6731 says. Where are you getting your lowest reviews? Cleanliness? Communication? Figure that out and then improve your current processes. Jlindo says. 4.95. Host, my tips / what we do, consider the design and decor. First impressions are everything, and having a space that fits the destination is super important. That is Southern California bright, airy and beach vibes. Give every guest a handwritten welcome note or something extra to welcome them. It costs almost nothing and starts things off right. Replace linens when they are stained. We've stayed in so many B&Bs with mildewy towels or unsightly stains and it's terrible. Make it a part of your operating costs to keep these things nice and fresh. Be incredibly clean. Clean every linen after each stay. Be diligent about windowsills, ceiling fans, underbeds, and checking pots and pans. This is r/Airbnb hosts. Kinky_flamingo says. Airbnb saying I owe them $1,164 from 10 years ago. Okay, so this is kind of crazy, but I just hosted my first guest in 10 years on Airbnb and Airbnb says I owe them $1,164 from a guest I hosted 10 years ago, so they won't pay out until my new earnings cross that threshold. What happened is in 2013 someone booked for 9 nights, but had to leave about halfway through, so I adjusted their reservation to 5 nights. I don't know exactly how it happened, but either A, Airbnb sent $2,619 and then took back $1,164 or B, Airbnb just sent $1,455. Either way I netted $1,455. I have emails I sent to Airbnb support in 2014 after receiving the 1099K asking why it doesn't show $1,455, which is the net amount I was paid in 2013 as it was my only reservation. Also I have emails to my tax preparer in 2014 explaining the same, that the 1099K amount doesn't align with the amount I actually netted. From Airbnb. Now, Airbnb support is claiming that all they see on their end is a payment of $2,619 and nothing was taken out of my bank account or adjusted in any way. They are saying the negative balance of $1,164 has been sitting on my account for 10 years. I have emails from Airbnb stating they sent $2,619 and $1,455 within 2 days of each other. There is no mention of a $1,164 refund, which from what I remember, was discussed entirely over the phone with Airbnb support. I don't have the bank account anymore and the bank, Capital One, is saying they can't provide any records prior to 7 years, which makes sense to me, because they don't keep them forever. Do I have any options besides trying to somehow get the bank statements from that time frame, or do I have to keep escalating with Airbnb support and then take this to arbitration? Has anyone gone through arbitration with Airbnb? Rough lesbian, she says. I can't believe 2014 was 10 years ago. Specialk says. I don't even know if this is legal. Given the amount of time that has passed, I would think it would be past soul/time barred after this many years. Austistix says. You can fight and likely win. But they may very well keep you off the platform if they still feel cheated somehow. Didritus says. I haven't done it, but it sure seems like a case for arbitration. You have the tax return showing the amount you claimed from Airbnb income? Did you have to submit a request for 1099 correction to ISOR and explanation of the different amounts? Gerald88 says. Just make a new account? Thisispin says. The statute of limitations has likely passed, and the costs of arbitration are likely going to be prohibitive for such a small amount. Consult with a lawyer in your state to confirm. Best course is probably to tell Airbnb to pound sand, since Vrbo is where you're getting most of your business anyway. Makrojanov says. I had the same problem with the 1099. I had a guest who shortened her reservation. The 1099 included the full amount, not the adjusted amount. I spoke with someone from their accounting department. He, idiotically, told me that was the correct way to issue the 1099 and that I should show the difference as an expense on my tax returns. Does the accounting of payments on your listing go back that far? If so, you should be able to show them how much they actually paid you. Fun_sport_6694 says. Offer to sign a release of claims to settle the balance and keep their reputation intact, and you continue to do business. You'd have to delete this post obviously. Compile everything into one file and attach it. Otherwise, flame them and work with Vrbo. It's now time for an unpaid shoutout. Meet Arlo, the weird blue puppet who loves all things Nintendo and yet complains constantly. With his sharp wit and unique perspective, Arlo's videos are a must-watch for any Nintendo fan. Follow the link in the description to start watching now. r/Airbnb hosts. Trembling Chihuahua 8 says. Guest asked for crib for child at 9 PM night before arrival. It's disassembled in storage. Could I be dinged for this? I'm an idiot is the real moral here because last year, in my attempt to be overzealously hospitable, I bought a gorgeous crib that I was planning to offer guests on an as-needed basis because we get tons of families coming through. Down the line a redditor suggested to me that this was problematic as cribs often have recalls or other safety issues, so I removed the crib option as a provided amenity. However, somewhere way down on my description, there's a line that I forgot to remove that says traveling crib available upon request. I have the crib still, but it's disassembled and in my locked garage. I would have tried to accommodate this guest if they'd asked, but they messaged me at 9 PM tonight and are arriving tomorrow at 3 PM. My cleaning crew has already been by and the house was all prepped already, so I can't ask them to go back and set up the crib, and I'm not local, and while I would have normally considered driving the 3 hours down to set up the crib, I have work tomorrow and can't drive down there and back without it being insane. I apologized profusely for the inconvenience, but said the cleaning crew who would have set it up for them had already prepped the house so it wouldn't be possible. Most people I know have their own traveling crib with children, so I hope it won't be a big issue. I took the line about the crib out of my description, but it's too late for this guest. Is it possible I'll be dinged for this? Is it an amenity I promised and now don't have? The person hasn't responded since I apologized and said it won't be possible. I'm a bit worried they'll either ask for a discount or some kind, or give me a lower review. Organic_Peaches says. Can you just have a pack and play delivered? Serious Sheefader 1 says. As a parent of multiple children, I would expect a traveling crib to be a pack and play. Get yourself to Walmart or Target, get a nice one, open the box, leave it in your place. Dilettante Test says. Buy a pack and play on Instacart and have your cleaners take it over there. Change your description to require that guests that need the crib request it when they book. With Revolution 11 says. Yeah. It's called a pack and play. It's $100. Go get one. No assembly to worry about. If they have a kid, they know how it works. New_commission 7749 says. It's in your description. You should honor it. Now till 3 PM is plenty of time. If you aren't personally available, perhaps there's a handyman who can get it from storage and set it up, or grab one from the store. One tip is you can check with the guests when they plan to get in. Perhaps they aren't arriving till a late flight, and you have a little more time to figure it out. Ababab70 says. In your situation I'd consider how much it would cost to have the cleaning crew come back. Yes 9 PM is late request, but not something Airbnb is likely to remove a bad review over. And take down that line from your listing. I have cribs, but don't advertise it, only offer them if a guest says it's bringing a toddler. Matroshka_Owen says. Amazon Prime a guava lotus for them. Super easy to set up and break down, guests can do it themselves, better quality than a standard pack and play. Our kid has outgrown ours, so I offer it to guests. Some use it, most say they have their own travel bed arrangements. Travelk Mac says. I understand that you took the crib listing down in one area, but if you didn't indicated 24 or 48 hours notice for additional amenities, the guests aren't going to be looking at this late request by them. You have now put them in the position where they need to think of a solution. Bring a pack and play, buy one when they get to the area, etc. You should be able to order a pack and play and some pack and play sheets from Target, Walmart, Instacart and have it delivered, or pay the cleaning people / TaskRabbit to get it and bring it to the home. Not the best solution, but if a store is close that you could purchase and have her in store pick up, you could give that option. You pay for the pack and play, they have it for the stay. As for recalled items, Typically when you register the purchase with the company, they'll notify you of recalls. You can also set a Google alert. I was notified of a toaster recall from the company. Be prepared for the review. Crib listed as amenity and 18 hours before check-in we requested use of it. We were told, sorry, cleaner's already gone, and host doesn't live nearby. This led us to incur additional expenses and scramble to figure a solution. I would look into options people have mentioned, reach out with a solution and offer a discount on future stays or something else. Good luck. Patty 202 says, a travel crib is usually a pack and play. If the crib has to be assembled, I would not consider it travel. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.